All right, let's get right into it. Deep in the book of Revelation, there's this really mysterious prophecy about the Euphrates River. It involves four angels who are bound up and a command to set them loose. Now, for centuries, most people have read that and thought, doom and gloom. But what if? What if we've been looking at it all wrong? So let's go straight to the heart of the matter. We're going right to the source code of this mystery, you could say. Revelation chapter 9. This is it. This is where we find that one single cryptic command that sets this whole thing in motion. And there you have it. The words themselves sound simple enough, right? But the implications? Oh, they are massive. You've got loose, untie them, set them free. Then you've got bound, which tells us they're being held back for a very specific purpose. And it's all centered on one place, the great river Euphrates. So this really makes you wonder, what's going on here? Is this command unleashing some terrible destruction on the world? I mean, that's the traditional take. But what if it's not? What if it's a completely misunderstood message of hope and release? To even begin to answer that, we've got to start peeling back the layers on these symbols. Okay, first up, the river itself. You have to understand, the Euphrates isn't just a body of water in the Bible. No way. It's almost like a character in the story. It's got this long, really complicated history. And if we want to crack this prophecy, we absolutely have to look at the symbolic role it's played all throughout Scripture. So the river kind of has this split personality. On the one hand, it was the lifeblood for huge empires. Think Babylon, a real symbol of world power. But on the other hand, it was also this boundary line drawn by God. It marked the edge of the promised land. It was literally a line in the sand that separated us from them. And you can really see how its meaning just evolves over time. I mean, it starts in the Garden of Eden, paradise. Then it becomes this boundary line for God's covenant with his people. But later on, things take a darker turn. In the book of Isaiah, it turns into a symbol of judgment, like a flood of enemy armies pouring over the border. And that whole journey is so important because it's all building up to this final climactic moment right here in Revelation. All right, so I think we've got a pretty good feel for the river now. But what about the other part of the puzzle? Those four angels. Who or maybe what are they? And why on earth are they bound right there at that specific boundary? This, my friends, is where things get really fascinating. Okay, this is a super important point. The whole interpretation we're looking at really hangs on what the word angel means. See, in the original Greek, the word is angelos, and it just means messenger. That's it. So in prophecy, it doesn't always have to be a literal being with wings. It can be a divine message, or even a movement of God's Spirit, just waiting for the perfect moment. And this whole idea of four divine agents isn't just a one-off thing in Revelation. If you look back to the prophet Zechariah, he talks about four spirits of the heavens that go out and do God's work. So there's a pattern here. It really builds a case that we might be talking about symbols, not just four literal entities. So let's put the pieces on the table. We've got the Euphrates River, a boundary, a line between God's people and the rest of the world. And we've got these four angels, which could actually be four divine messages. So what happens when you put those two powerful ideas together? And then there's the number itself, 4. Why 4? Why not 3 or 7 or 12? Well, in biblical symbolism, the number 4 often points to the whole world, the four corners of the earth. So we're talking about something with global reach. So what 4 messages could possibly be that big, that world-changing? And here it is, the absolute core of this interpretation. The 4 angels, the 4 messages, are the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Think about it. Each one is a unique message about Jesus, meant for the entire world. And in this view, they were bound at the river, held in check, just waiting for the perfect moment to be unleashed. So let's just lay this out, side by side. The traditional view, 4 powerful angels of destruction are let loose to cause harm. Then you have this symbolic view, the 4 Gospels are released to bring hope to the world. It is a complete 180. The command to loose them isn't about starting a war. It's about sending out a message of salvation to everyone, everywhere. I mean, this reinterpretation completely transforms the meaning of the prophecy. It's no longer a story about a hostile army breaking through a border. Instead, it's about a barrier being taken down so that something wonderful can get out. So the Euphrates, which for so long was a symbol of division, actually becomes a channel. That command to loose has nothing to do with chaos. It's all about letting this river of life, this incredible message, finally break free from its old boundaries and flow out to all nations. And this just connects so powerfully with other imagery in the New Testament. I mean, Jesus himself is described as a source from which rivers of living water will flow. So when you look at it this way, the prophecy is tying the Euphrates, symbolically, to that same life-giving message. And then it all comes full circle. At the very end of Revelation, what do we see? A river. But it's not the muddy Euphrates of Babylon anymore, that symbol of human empires and judgment. No, it's a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, flowing right from the throne of God. And this interpretation suggests that our prophecy, back in chapter 9, is a huge step in that river's transformation. So we're left with this powerful question, aren't we? Could this prophecy, that for so long has felt like a warning of war and destruction, could it actually be a coded promise? A vision of a message so powerful that it tears down the very boundaries meant to divide us, offering a single, unifying river of life to the entire world? It's a completely different way to look at a very old story.